Hi guys, welcome to Grooties. Hey, I thought I'd give you the update on the down low on the M20b29 head. So the head's not here. I went and picked it up, and then I took it to my machinist today. So I went and picked up some other heads. So I've got two machinists that I use, John and Brenton. They're amazing. Never have an issue. And if I did ever have an issue, they would rectify it like that. The guys, they're top class. They're fucking next level. So I went to Tony because he's supposed to have ported the best M20 cylinder heads in the world. Well, he has. But he's now shifted the blame totally to me and says that I valve floated the engine, which I did. He says that he says that's the issue why I dropped a seat. No, it's not the total issue why I dropped a seat. I do believe it's a combination of stuff, and for him to just shift the blame and then say, well, you pay for parts, I'll do the work, but it's been in his shop for 5 months and he hasn't touched it until this week. And it was only when I started busting his balls. So it's like, you know what? You don't even touch my shit. The other cylinder head I had sitting there had been there for a year. More, I don't know. I can't remember when I dropped that off. So at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I don't have all this time to wait for somebody to just keep fucking me around. And when somebody blames me and says it was nothing they did, but clearly the exact job they did failed, then you got to question it. I made this video several times. Just I'll text you in a little while. Oh. That's why some days I wish I just didn't have a phone, that I just couldn't be contacted. Then I could just exist as a human entity that I am. And then none of you would know who I am. Probably be easier for everyone. So yeah, the head is now at John's. Due to the fact that I like to know exactly what happened and why, I know for a fact the 43mm Supertech valves that I had the head done for originally when it came back from Sydney, that had sloppy guides. So then I took it to Knight to get him to do guides, touch up the port. He told me the valve was too small, it should have had a 44, yada, yada, yada. So I spent more money, spent another $2,500 on the head. And when I got it back, the valves hadn't been lightened like we'd talked about, and they were custom 44mm valves from Rick at Bundy Sales. And anyone that knows Rick knows he does a good item, but they're always heavy. They're not as light as they could be. So they need a bit more work, and the faces hadn't been cut and no back cuts and stuff like that. So I do question the port flow. So early next year, the head goes on the flow bench. We check the flow. My amazing machinist is going to pull a seat out once we've checked the flow, and we'll video some of this shit. We'll see if I can get a video of it on the flow bench. I'll see. I don't know if the boys are going to let me video in their shop. I'd be careful where I video, because some shops have got $1 million worth of customer gear sitting there, or $300,000 worth of customer cylinder heads sitting there, because some of these shops actually deal with a lot of stuff. So we'll see what we can do and see if we can find out whether or not it actually flows as much as it's supposed to. Hopefully it does. And then we will pop the seats out, and we're going to send a seat off to a metallurgist, because a seat doesn't particulate and fall to 1 million pieces, or 35 bits or whatever it fell to, and fill the chamber full of shit that easily without it being extremely hard. So putting stainless valves like that in an engine, especially a heavy-headed stainless valve, because it was 20 grams heavy at the valve, that puts you in a position where you need to run a softer seat. So you won't run an unleaded seat, or you won't run a LPG seat. So it's the same as the guys running the Barra turbo heads with LPG seats. You put stainless valves in it, it'll more than likely smash it up, right? You can't run a heavy stainless valve or a hard stainless valve on a hard seat. Something will give. Now, the other factor, I remember the day I went and picked the head up. I had witnessed a seat being trimmed down in thickness And they are a tad thin. They're right on the limits. You really wouldn't want to do it for something that was going to be streeted as well as raced. You'd maybe do it for a drag race engine, but that's probably about it. So I witnessed the head cold, operating temperature, room temperature, and the seat at room temperature be whaled in with a drift, just a seat drift, and whaled in. Hard enough to think I questioned whether or not it would crack my big dollar cylinder head. So I got to see this on the last one, so it actually really, really threw me for a 6. So I put all the head together. I questioned the valves not being cut. I ended up getting Hendrik, before he passed away, to face the valves and back cut them because I needed it to be right. There is a video on this as well. And we put it all together, we tuned it, and we sent it. It was running a little rich, so if anything, it was running probably a little cool. Nice little bit of fuel coolness to it. Couldn't get the engine over 70 degrees. The cooling system was amazing. Oil system was amazing. Everything worked really well. Everybody's seen videos of running that's followed the car. And when it happened and I sent him photos, he said, okay, bring it in. So he inspected it, and Mr. Knight actually agreed on fully repairing the head at his cost and machining an M10 head, which I had sitting there for the last year or so. Now, this week I bust his balls a little bit, and he gets back to me and says that I've got attitude. I don't have attitude. Otherwise, I would have gone to his shop and just yelled at him why he hadn't got my shit done. I just asked when it could be done, and if it can't be done, can he pay compensation? That's all I ask. And text message, you never get any kind of context through a text message. Come on. So then he pulled himself out of it and sent me a photo of the tip of the valve and said, "Oh, the valve's damaged. I can tell you what happened here, but with the attitude, I won't." And I'm like, just tell me what you believe. If you think you can teach me something, teach me something. I think I can teach you something here too. I think you inserted the inserts pretty cowboy style. But anyway, so I did actually say to him, well, I did float it. I did take it out and run it. Yeah, we tested it, we ran it. Fucking oath, we drag raced it. And yes, the valves hit float point because it had a rev ceiling. The thing should have gone to 86 or 8700, 85 minimum. But it didn't even make it to the 8,000 RPM limiter that I'd set. Because it was running, it was tuned, it was bed. It was time to go whale on it and pull some timing in and see if it would go faster and faster. So realistically, the head would have been coming off in the next 3 months after that anyway for me to investigate. I would have pulled the head off and lightened valves and done some shit. Now, I didn't like valves. Awesome. That's somebody that's actually texting me that wants to chat. Cool. So see, you got to see some bad shit. That's good too. So now we've got a head that hasn't been paid for. Now I've just had to buy I had to buy one piston, but I couldn't. So I ended up buying 7 because the minimum order was 4, and 4 was useless. So I've had to buy another whole set of pistons because they were custom order. So $2,748 out of pocket on pistons. Yeah, 700 of that is $748 is import duties and postage. Welcome to Australia. So yeah, now it'll be another couple of $1,000s to finish the head properly because we'll put CHI seats. I'll probably get some Manly valves made or some Del West titaniums or something. I don't know yet. I think we're going to go full retard, and I'm going to aim for highest horsepower naturally aspirated per cubic inch registered street car with a M20 in it. So that's got to be about 230 kilowatts at the tyre will give me that. That'll be highest horsepower naturally aspirated M20 in the country, maybe the world. So 230, 240 kilowatts gives me that kind of title. And that's, I'll tell you right now, that's what I'm going to chase with the M3. I have a 6-speed sitting over there, a VZ Commodore 6-speed. They're cheap as shit. Same ratios as a ZF 5-speed, but with a 0.75 overdrive. So perfect with 373s. and I'm going to run the large case 373, so it'll rob an extra 8 to 10 kilowatts from the engine anyway. And we now have 13.6 to 1 pistons, and one of them, of the 7, will be modified to go back to 12.5. I will probably run the 13.7 and redo the engine, put ITBs on it, run aftermarket ECU, flex fuel sensor, and do a very spicy a very spicy 98 tune, so it can be driven on 98 pump fuel. And then what will happen is it'll get driven on 98 with probably 10 litres of E85 in it. And that's most of the time that's where it'll get driven. So I'll have a 98 tune, and then on weekends when I want to track it, it'll go out and it'll have E85 in it, and should be able to hit that 240 kilowatt at the time mark, which is what I'm after. But to do that, I may spend another $5,000 on the head or more. Now, the cylinder head's not dead. It's far from it. It's easy repair. My guy will repair it. He's fucking amazing. I've seen him weld through the face and down a port, through into an intake port. And that head went on an engine, and it's actually on my bench about to go on another engine. And after it was pulled off an engine, it was still dead straight. He's just a gun. He's been in the scene for a long time. So this is where we're at. The M20b29 will go back together. I sold the 6-into-1s, but I'll make a new set because I want to get the collector further away from the floor. So then that way I can make it better heat transfer, so it doesn't transfer through to my feet and burn my legs, because in the black car it was actually quite hot on the floor. So I'll fix that, and the car will still run the 3-inch exhaust system that was on the black car, the full oil system, water system, all of the stuff off the black car is going straight onto the M3. I've got a black tag 2.5 turn rack. I've got what are they? ZR? I think they're BC ZR reservoir shocks. So it's going to be very similar engine bay, but green with the black engine in there. The head, I think I'll go black on the head again, but I think this time I will actually go satin black on this engine, not gloss. And we'll put it all together with the M20 and the M3 and put the 6-speed in there, or I've got to find a gearbox because I had to sell all that for the ex-missus to have enough money to leave. Sold both my manual boxes. I sold my 420G, which was in her car, and I sold my 265. That's what we do. We sell shit to pay bills and to make shit happen. That's what self-employed people have to do. Whilst you're all there getting, paid for your normal job and not having to worry about selling your motorbikes and selling your stuff. Me, for years, all I did was sell shit to build the little black car. And now was supposed to be the time for my car and race the black car whilst my car was being built. That all changed. So the fact that I'm sticking with the M20, I'm going to see it through. I've got some really exciting shit that'll be happening. I might need to sell off maybe my Barrett turbo shit to make it happen early in the year. But I'll be doing some more head porting over the holidays. I've got a good plan to bring some brand new parts to the BMW community and some parts that we need, plus some services. So I will have some really, really cool shit up. So hopefully I should have an online shop by March. And once YouTube gets their shit together and stops lying about all the hours that people have watched, if you're still watching, my God, don't even try the YouTube shit. It's not about money. This is just about me sharing some shit and some life experience. To try and get monetized, for me, it's not about ad revenue and money. It's more about having merch and link to shop and be able to shop. That's all I'm after. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, like always. And it's cooled off today. It was 30 odd degrees, and look, Doggo's just laying there, just cooling off, chilling out. And me, I got to do something. Oh, yeah. I got all the linkage kit and stuff, so I'm doing... What am I doing at the moment? Tonight I'll be doing all the brake vacuum lines. I'm going to do a full selection under the manifolds, and then I'll go to the brake boosters, and I'll start doing the linkage kit because the factory E24 linkage will run the Webers. I got all the linkage kit from Weber this week. I think this week it was about $1,200 or $1,300 of parts have been purchased for this. Today was $350 worth of fittings and hoses, and just ridiculous. So every time somebody asks, like, it's not a lot done there, sometimes there'll be $400 in fittings and hose clamps and hose. A lot of the time you just don't see it. So yeah, I'll do some more shit on this, show you what I'm doing under the bonnet and stuff like that soon. We'll have a quick look. So this is where I'm at the moment. Wiring. So use all this wiring, none of the EFI gear because it's gone. Do some fuel lines. I've got my fuel pressure reg sits here. Nice. So that's it. That's what I've got to do. I'd like to see it running Christmas Day. It's got reg on it. So if it's running Christmas Day, I get to test drive and tune over Christmas. That's the plan. And give it back to him before New Year's. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.